Hello everybody, it's Jen. For the last card in the 2018 holiday card series, I'm using Nice List by Pink and Main. I absolutely adore this little Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. This is a design team project for Scrapping for Less, and this stamp and many other holiday stamps are at a discounted price, as all items are at Scrapping for Less. So if you want to order some goodies for next year or to get ahead on your Christmas or holiday cards, then you should go check out the shop. I have all the links listed below. So I am using mostly a two-color blend for the images today. You don't need to always use 3 markers to get a really nice blend of shades. So if you're just starting out with alcohol markers, particularly Copics, given they're a little bit more pricey, if you get 2 that are similar, then you can do a lot with that as well. So I'm using E11 and E00 for the fair skin tone. I've used the R20 for the cheeks, and I gave Santa a rosy little nose as well. For the red, I'm just using R29 and R24. I find that these 2 red colors actually blend the best if you're looking for 2 red colors that you would like to add to your collection. These markers have gotten some good use over the holidays. I probably need to think about buying some re-inkers before I start diving into the Valentine's Day cards, because I do like this color combination for Valentine's Day as well. So I'm moving through the coloring as quickly as possible. I'm going to color Mrs. Claus's outfit red as well. So this was fairly easy to color, given I'm doing their outfits the same. I did bring in quite a few colors just to finish off the other cute little elements in the scene that I'm going to build. You can see there that I have the Santa sack to the right. I kind of forgot that I had it there. So I do go back and add red to one of the presents in a little bit. But you can see how nice the blend is with just the two markers. And you definitely get the shading even with the 2. So for their hair and Santa's beard, I'm using W3 and W1. This is a warm gray. Now I am leaving lots of white space on his beard because I want it to look more white, where I'm filling in all of her hair because I want it to look gray. So for Santa, I am going to blend this out with the colorless blender so that it looks a bit more white, like I said. Added the R20 to his tongue, which I forgot. Now I'm just adding the Cool Gray 1 marker along the paper and all the inanimate objects on the images. So for the fluff on their hats, I'm going to do the scissors in her sewing basket, and some of the areas on his suit as well. I did forget to do her little list in her sewing kit or sewing basket, so I will go back and do that as well. Just going back over his beard to really blend that out. And I got a little bit of my marker in the red. For his pencil and the doll's hair, I'm going to use Y15, Y13. This is where I realized I hadn't colored any of the Santa sack there, any of the images in that. So I start doing that. So here's where I'm going to bring back the red, and I'm just going to color up the present really quickly and the bow on the yellow gift. I'm going to bring in YG03 and YG01 for a really bright green. Just going to do the one present and the doll's dress. For the blue, I'm using B02 and B00. I'm going to do the yarn and then the bow on the red present. Then I thought I'd bring in some pink, so I'm using R85 and R83. I'm going to use that for her knitting needles and to finish off the last bow in Santa's sack of gifts. For the black, I'm using C9 and C7. So I'm doing Santa's belt and his boots and Mrs. Claus's little slippers. I just wanted them to be the same. I didn't want to bring in another color for her slippers. I didn't give Santa mittens because I felt like these two were inside and he wouldn't be wearing his mittens inside. For the Santa sack and the basket and the chair, I'm using E25 and E35. This gives a really nice light brown color. I was going for like a burlap color for the sack, and I thought that tied in well for the chair and the sewing basket. So I'm using the Lawn Fawn stitched rectangle, reverse rectangle scallop. It's such a tongue tie. I'm also using all three of these papers are from the Lawn Fawn Really Rainbow Christmas collection that came out this year. I really wanted to use this paper. I didn't get to use it as much as I had hoped. So that was the inspiration for this card. I will show the paper pad at the end when I realize I hadn't shown it, just in case you haven't seen it yet, but all products will be listed below as normal. So my Nuvo glue is clogged. I have to figure out how to unclog it. So you see me here, I'm using my Zig 2-way glue pen and then my ATG adhesive for the panels for the card base. Using my Teflon bone folder there just because I felt like it wasn't laying as flat as I would like it to be. This green polka dot paper comes in the paper pad, and I just cut that out with a stitched oval die. I am going to pop up Mr. and Mrs. Claus on some 3M foam tape, and I'm going to adhere the Santa sack right down to the card. So there'll be no dimension for the little sack. It's more or less in the background. So I wanted to overlap these images. I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do that. I thought it really tied the two of them together nicely. So I'm just getting them placed to see where I want to put this little sack of presents. So I'm going to tuck that behind, and then I realize it's over a little bit too much to the left if you're looking at the card. So you just move those over, get those in place, and then adhere them down really well. Wanted to make sure I added some adhesive to the end of the scroll of the nice list. And then I also go under the doll's hair as well, just so that those pieces adhere nicely to each other. I'm bringing in my Memento Tuxedo black marker. I'm just going to write some squiggly lines to make it look like there's names on the nice list, and I will add it to Mrs. Claus's little list in her basket. I'm going to stamp the sentiment Happy Christmas, which comes in the stamp set on the inside, and I'm bringing in some Nuvo white accents here, and I'm really kind of putting it on really messy. I wanted it to look like it was fluffy. I'm also going to be adding some Pom Poms to their hats, and so I'm going to use this as the adhesive because I feel like given that it dries so hard, it will be a great adhesive for the Pom Poms. So these are 0.5 centimeter Pom Poms that I bought while I was visiting Florida in November. I just picked them up at Hobby Lobby, but I thought it would be fun to include them. Now to ground the images a little bit, I'm going to use my C3 marker, and then I'm going to bring in my C1 marker as well, just to blend that out a little bit. So that gives them something to kind of be standing on. Here's where I realize I forgot to put the sentiment on, and everything was all wet. So I originally was just going to stamp it on the green oval pattern paper, but I had to come up with another plan. So I'm using the same blue pattern paper I used for the scallop border. The first time I didn't get a good impression, so I stamped it a second time, and I just cut it out with a double fishtail banner. This is an MFT die. I thought I was going to put it underneath them, but I really didn't like it. It was too short. So I'm going to play around here and figure out where I actually want this to land in the end. And I decide up at the top right there. So that's it for the card. I hope you've enjoyed the series. Thank you so much for supporting me this holiday season by watching my videos, leaving comments. I really appreciate it. You've all definitely made the nice list. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, whatever holiday it is that you celebrate, and I look forward to seeing you really soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.